Ebony and Kevin met on their first day at the University of Lagos. With her vibrant personality and infectious smile, Ebony immediately caught Kevin's eye. Kevin, on the other hand, was known for his quiet confidence and determination. They both studied finance, often finding themselves in the same classes and study groups. Over time, their friendship blossomed into a deep bond. They spent countless hours discussing their dreams and aspirations, supporting each other through the pressures of university life. Ebony's ambition was to work in a top-tier bank, while Kevin dreamed of making a name for himself in the real estate industry. They often joked about how they would conquer the business world together. Their university days were filled with ups and downs, late-night study sessions, and memorable adventures. One night, during a particularly stressful exam period, they decided to take a break and go for a midnight walk along the campus grounds. Under the starless sky, they shared their hopes and fears, making a silent promise to always be there for each other. Graduation day was a whirlwind of emotions. Ebony and Kevin stood side by side, beaming with pride as they received their diplomas. Their families were there to cheer them on, capturing the joyous moment with photographs and loud applause. Soon after, Ebony landed a job at one of the largest banks in Lagos, while Kevin secured a position with a prestigious real estate company. They were thrilled to start their careers, but the transition from university life to the corporate world was daunting. Despite the challenges, they continued to support each other, sharing their daily experiences and offering encouragement. As they navigated their new jobs, Ebony and Kevin's relationship grew stronger. They often met or lunched to discuss their progress and plans for the future. Their conversations were filled with excitement and ambition as they imagined the life they would build together. After a few years of dating, Kevin decided it was time to take the next step. He planned a surprise proposal, meticulously organizing every detail to make it perfect. He chose a beautiful spot by the lagoon where they had spent many evenings talking about their dreams. On a warm, breezy evening, Kevin took Ebony to the lagoon, pretending it was just another casual outing. As the sun set, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink, Kevin got down on one knee and presented Ebony with a sparkling ring. "Ebony, you are my best friend and the love of my life. Will you marry me?" he asked, his voice trembling with emotion. Tears of joy filled Ebony's eyes as she nodded enthusiastically. "Yes, Kevin, 1,000 times yes." Their wedding was a beautiful affair, blending traditional Edo customs with modern touches. The ceremony took place in their hometown, with family and friends gathered to celebrate their union. Ebony looked stunning in her traditional attire, while Kevin looked dashing in his tailored suit. The day was filled with laughter, dancing, and heartfelt speeches. They exchanged vows, promising to support and love each other through thick and thin. They felt an overwhelming sense of happiness and contentment as they danced the night away, surrounded by loved ones. After the wedding, Ebony and Kevin returned to their respective jobs with renewed energy. Ebony quickly rose through the ranks at the bank, earning a reputation for her intelligence and work ethic. She handled complex projects with ease, impressing her superiors and earning accolades. Kevin was also making a name for himself in the real estate industry. He successfully closed several high-profile deals, gaining the trust and respect of his clients. His innovative approach and dedication to his work set him apart from his peers. They were both excelling in their careers, but their success came with its own set of challenges. The long hours and demanding schedules left little time for each other, but they made a conscious effort to stay connected. They scheduled regular dating nights and weekend getaways, cherishing the moments they could spend together. As the years went by, Ebony and Kevin decided it was time to start a family. They were excited about the prospect of having children and eagerly awaited the news of Ebony's pregnancy. However, Months turned into years, and despite their efforts, Ebony was unable to conceive. They sought medical advice, but Kevin was hesitant about undergoing tests. His mother, Mama Aye, was particularly upset. She was desperate for a grandchild, especially since Kevin was her only son. She began to pressure Kevin to consider marrying another woman, believing that Ebony was the problem. Mama Aye's anger and frustration grew with each passing day. She often took her frustrations out on Ebony, making hurtful comments and creating a hostile environment. Ebony felt the weight of Mama Aye's disapproval and Kevin's reluctance to seek medical help. Despite her pain, Ebony remained hopeful and continued to pray for a miracle. Kevin was torn between his love for Ebony and his mother's pressure. He tried to reassure his mother, explaining that they were waiting for the right time and that he loved Ebony deeply. Mama Aye, however, was relentless in her pursuit of her grandchild and began to devise a plan of her own. One day, while shopping at the market, Mama Aye met a beautiful young woman named Ada. Ada was charming and seemed to understand Mama Aye's plight. Mama Aye confided in Ada, sharing her desire for a grandchild and her frustration with Ebony's inability to conceive. Ada, sensing an opportunity, offered to help. Mama Eve brought Ada to their home and introduced her as a friend. She encouraged Ada to spend time with Kevin, hoping that he would be drawn to her. Ada played her part well, flirting subtly and making herself indispensable to the family. Kevin, unaware of his mother's intentions, remained polite but distant. Mama Aye was determined to see her plan through. One day, she pretended to be sick, calling Kevin from work and asking him to come home immediately. When Kevin arrived, he found Ada by his mother's side, offering comfort and care. Mama Aye insisted that Kevin stay for dinner, and she served him a special meal. Unbeknownst to Kevin, Mama Aye spiked his food with a love potion, hoping to weaken his resolve and make him fall for Ada. As the potion took effect, Kevin felt a strange attraction to Ada, and his usual clarity began to wane. Mama Aye watched with satisfaction, believing her plan was working. Despite the growing tension at home, Ebony continued to seek medical advice. During a visit to the hospital, the doctor suggested a series of tests to determine the cause of the infertility. The results showed that everything was normal on Ebony's side, but they still needed to test Kevin. Ebony returned home with the news, urging Kevin to go for the test. However, Kevin was still under the influence of the love potion and became increasingly distant and irritable. He accused Ebony of being obsessed with having a child and refused to listen to her pleas. In her desperation, Ebony turned to the church pastor for guidance. She shared her struggles and the growing distance between her and Kevin. The pastor listened carefully and offered his prayers and support. He suggested that Ebony see a doctor and continue to have faith. The doctor prescribed medication for her to give Kevin before they were intimate. Ebony followed the pastor's advice, hoping that it would bring them closer and help them conceive. She prepared a special juice for Kevin, which contained the medicine the doctor had given her. Each time Kevin came to her room, she would offer him the juice, praying. One evening, Kevin returned home in a foul mood. He had been struggling at work and was frustrated with the ongoing pressure from his mother. When he entered the house, he found Ada waiting for him. Under the influence of the love potion and his own emotional turmoil, Kevin fell into Ada's arms. Ebony walked in on them, her heart shattering at the sight. Kevin, in his anger and confusion, accused Ebony of being a burden and told her to leave. He declared that he didn't want a barren woman in his house anymore. Ebony, devastated and heartbroken, packed her belongings and left. With Ebony gone, Ada moved into the house, much to Mama Aye's delight. Not long after, Ada announced that she was pregnant. Mama Aye was overjoyed, believing her dream of having a grandchild was finally coming true. She doted on Ada ensuring she had everything she needed. Kevin, however, was not as happy as he thought he would be. The guilt of betraying Ebony weighed heavily on him, and his feelings for Ada were confused and conflicted. He found it difficult to focus at work and began to make mistakes, causing his performance to suffer. After leaving Kevin, Ebony moved to another city to start anew. She focused on her career, putting all her energy into her work. Her colleagues noticed her determination and dedication, and she quickly rose through the ranks. Despite her professional success, Ebony couldn't shake the pain of her broken marriage. She continued to visit the doctor, who confirmed that she was indeed pregnant. Ebony was shocked and overjoyed, realizing that the pastor's advice had worked. She decided to keep the news to herself, focusing on her health and preparing for the arrival of her baby. Ada gave birth to a baby boy, and Mama E was ecstatic. She threw a grand celebration, inviting friends and family to welcome the newest member of the family. Kevin, however, couldn't shake the feeling of emptiness. He missed Ebony and regretted his actions, but he felt trapped by his mother's expectations and his own mistakes. As Ada settled into her new role as a mother, her true nature began to surface. She was demanding and manipulative, often clashing with Mama Ia. The household became tense and unhappy, and Kevin found himself yearning for the peace and love he once had with Ebony. Despite the challenges, Ebony remained strong and focused. She gave birth to a healthy baby girl, whom she named Kelechi. The arrival of her daughter brought a new sense of purpose and joy to Ebony's life. She balanced her career with motherhood, determined to provide the best life for Kelechi. Ebony's friends and colleagues were supportive, helping her through the difficult times. She built a new network of friends, finding comfort and strength in their company. As Kelechi grew, Ebony made sure to instill values of resilience, kindness, and hard work in her daughter. As time went by, Kevin's regret and guilt grew stronger. He realized that his life with Ada was a facade built on deception and manipulation. He missed Ebony's genuine love and support and began to see the extent of his mother's interference in their lives. One day, while cleaning the house, Kevin found a box of old photos and letters from his time with Ebony. As he went through them, memories of their love and dreams flooded back. He knew he had made a terrible mistake and resolved to find Ebony and make things right. Determined to find Ebony, Kevin began searching for her. He reached out to mutual friends and acquaintances, trying to gather information on her whereabouts. Mama Ia, noticing Kevin's growing distance, tried to dissuade him. But Kevin was resolute. His search led him to the city where Ebony had moved. He spent days wandering the streets, hoping to catch a glimpse of her. Finally, he found her working at the bank. Seeing her again, radiant and confident, filled Kevin with a mix of hope and fear. He knew he had to approach her carefully, aware of the pain he had caused. One afternoon, Kevin mustered the courage to approach Ebony at her workplace. She was taken aback to see him, her emotions a whirlwind of anger, sadness, and confusion. Kevin apologized profusely, explaining his regret and the manipulation he had been under. Ebony listened, her heart aching as she remembered their past. She was torn between her lingering love for Kevin and the need to protect herself and her daughter. She asked him to leave, needing time to process his words and decide her next steps. That night, Ebony couldn't sleep. She thought about Kevin's apology and the impact it might have on her and Kelechi's lives. The following day, she decided to tell Kevin the truth about their daughter. She called him and asked him to meet her at a nearby park. When they met, Ebony revealed that she had given birth to a daughter after leaving him. Kevin was shocked and overjoyed, realizing that he was a father. He begged for a chance to be part of Kelechi's life and to make amends for his mistakes. Ebony agreed, but with the condition that he had to prove his commitment and sincerity. Kevin was determined to earn Ebony's trust and be a good father to Kelechi. He began visiting regularly, spending time with his daughter and helping out wherever he could. He enrolled in parenting classes, wanting to be the best father he could be. Kevin's efforts didn't go unnoticed. Ebony saw the genuine change in him and began to soften. Back in the village, Mama I was furious when she discovered that Kevin had been visiting Ebony and Kelechi. She felt betrayed and feared losing control over her son. She confronted Kevin, demanding that he cut ties with Ebony and focus on Ada and their son. Kevin stood his ground, asserting his right to be a part of his daughter's life. He told his mother that he was no longer willing to be manipulated and that he was determined to rebuild his relationship with Ebony. Mama Iwa's anger turned to desperation as she realized she was losing her grip on her son. Sensing Kevin's shift in loyalty, Ada began plotting her own scheme. She wanted to secure her position in the family and eliminate any threat from Ebony. Ada started spreading rumors about Ebony, hoping to tarnish her reputation and turn people against her. She also began to manipulate Kevin emotionally, playing the victim and accusing him of neglecting their son. Kevin, however, saw through Ada's lies and manipulation. He refused to be swayed and continued to focus on his relationship with Ebony and Kelechi. In a desperate attempt to keep Kevin away from Ebony and Kelechi, Mama Iye and Ada decided to take legal action. They filed for custody of Kelechi, claiming that Ebony was an unfit mother and that Kevin was abandoning his responsibilities. The legal battle was intense and emotionally draining. Ebony was devastated by the accusations, but remained determined to fight for her daughter. She hired a lawyer and gathered evidence to prove her capability as a mother and the love and care she provided for Kelechi. The courtroom was filled with tension as both sides presented their cases. Ebony's lawyer highlighted her accomplishments, dedication to her daughter, and support from friends and colleagues. Kevin testified on Ebony's behalf, expressing his remorse and desire to be a part of Kelechi's life. Mama Aya and Ada's lawyer tried to paint a negative picture of Ebony, but their arguments were weak and inconsistent. The judge listened carefully, weighing the evidence and testimonies from both sides. They entered the courtroom, nervous but determined. Mama Aye was there too, looking anxious. The room was filled with people and the atmosphere was tense. The judge called the case and everyone fell silent. A young man named Tunde entered the courtroom and claimed to be the father of the boy Mama Aye had previously said was Kevin's son. He looked confident. He said he had proof and wanted to set the record straight. Kevin was shocked. He couldn't believe what he was hearing. Ebony squeezed his hand, trying to give him strength. Mama Aye looked pale and worried. The judge asked Tunde to present his evidence. Tunde produced a series of documents, including a paternity test. The test results confirmed that Tunde was indeed the father of the boy. The courtroom erupted in whispers. Kevin felt a mix of relief and anger. He had been deceived all this time. The judge asked Mama Aye to explain. She admitted that she had brought the girl into their home and encouraged her to seduce Kevin. She had hoped that the girl would get pregnant and give her a grandchild. But the girl had been involved with Tunde the whole time. The courtroom was in shock. Kevin's heart ached with betrayal. He had lost so much because of the lies. He looked at his mother, feeling a deep sense of hurt. "Why, Mama? Why did you do this to us?" he asked. Last said. Mama Lai broke down in tears. She apologized to Kevin and Ebony, admitting that her desperation for a grandchild had clouded her judgment. She had made a terrible mistake and was deeply sorry for the pain she had caused. The judge asked Kevin if he wanted to press charges against his mother and the girl. Kevin looked at Ebony, who shook her head slightly. They had been through so much and didn't want more pain. Kevin told the judge that they didn't want to press charges. They just wanted to move on with their lives. Tunde apologized to Kevin and Ebony. He said he didn't know about the deception and was only trying to do the right thing for his son. Kevin accepted his apology, though the pain was still fresh. He knew it would take time to heal. The judge ruled in favor of Kevin and Ebony, granting them full custody of Kelechi. The court recognized their hardship and praised their strength and integrity. Kevin and Ebony left the courtroom feeling a mix of relief and sadness. Outside the courtroom, Mama Lai approached them. She was still crying and asked for their forgiveness. Kevin was silent for a moment. Then he hugged his mother and told her that he forgave her. He knew that holding onto anger would only cause more pain. Ebony also hugged Mama Aya and told her that they needed to move forward as a family. They had all suffered enough and it was time to heal. Mama Aya was grateful for their forgiveness and vowed to make things right. Kevin and Ebony returned home, feeling exhausted but hopeful. They sat down with Kelechi and explained what had happened in simple terms. Kelechi was confused but trusted her parents. She hugged them tightly and said she loved them. The days that followed were challenging. Kevin and Ebony worked hard to rebuild their lives. They focused on their family and their work, finding strength in each other. They knew that the road ahead would not be easy, but they were determined to make it through together. Kevin and Ebony's love grew stronger. They faced new challenges, but always supported each other. They knew that they could overcome anything as long as they had each other. Their bond was unbreakable. Mama Aye worked hard to earn their trust again. She spent time with Kelechi, building a loving relationship with her granddaughter. She also volunteered at the community center, helping others and making amends for her past mistakes. Kevin and Ebony continued to inspire those around them. Their story of love, forgiveness, and perseverance touched many hearts. They knew that their journey was far from over, but they were ready for whatever came their way. With the legal battle behind them, Kevin and Ebony focused on rebuilding their relationship and co-parenting Kelechi. Kevin worked hard to prove his commitment, attending every visitation and being there for Kelechi's important milestones. Mama Yi apologized to Ebony, expressing her regret for the pain she had caused. Ebony, in turn, forgave her, recognizing the importance of family and unity. The reconciliation brought peace to the family, allowing them to move forward together. Unable to cope with the changes and her diminished influence, Ada decided to leave. She took her son and moved to another city, hoping to start afresh. Dandi made sure to support his son financially and emotionally, maintaining a healthy relationship despite the distance. Ada's departure marked the end of a tumultuous chapter in their lives. Kevin, Ebony, and Kelechi were finally free to focus on building a happy and harmonious family. With their family life stabilizing, Kevin and Ebony decided to give back to the community that had supported them through their trials. They initiated a community project focusing on education and healthcare. They built a school and a health center, providing essential services to the villagers. A project brought the community together, fostering a sense of unity and purpose. Kevin and Ebony's efforts were widely appreciated, and they became respected figures in the village. Their contributions made a lasting impact, improving the lives of many. As the years passed, Kevin and Ebony looked back on their lives with pride. They had built a beautiful family and a successful life together. They knew that their love had conquered all obstacles and would continue to do so. Their story reminded us that true love is worth fighting for and that, with faith, anything is possible. Kevin and Ebony's journey was a testament to the strength of the human spirit and the power of love. After days of deliberation, the judge reached a verdict. He ruled in favor of Ebony, acknowledging her dedication as a mother and the loving environment she provided for Kelechi. The judge also granted Kevin visitation rights, allowing him to be a part of his daughter's life. Mama Aya and Ada were furious, but their defeat was undeniable. Kevin felt a sense of relief and gratitude, knowing that justice had been served. Ebony, though exhausted, was overjoyed to have her daughter's future secured with love.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel.